Wizards of the Coast has yet to grasp the idea that higher price points, too many card variants and artwork to follow is distracting from the game, and that means certain product lineups are being rejected by the players, and Wizards of the Coast better get on top of it. Let's start out with the dictionary's definition of rejection: the dismissing or refusing of a proposal or idea. The union decided last night to recommend rejection of the offer. And that's exactly what is happening to Wizards of the Coast right now. Players are rejecting the idea and the offering from the company. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. We have a lot to discuss, but before we start today's video, a reminder that if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bells, new content each and every day. Now guys, as we get closer and closer to the end of 2023, and I get more information from the stores about how well certain products are starting to sell, especially the pre-orders, there's a real gap that is starting to form from earlier this year to where we are now, and I expect it to get even worse. So what's been happening, and I'll get to some slides and show you some info, but what's been happening is players know there are upcoming price increases. We already know singles really started to dominate the market, and a lot of sealed products have been left behind, which means Wizards of the Coast, hey, they went ahead and they slimmed down the product lineup. Remember, set boosters and draft boosters are becoming play boosters. Less products, right? They got rid of brawl decks. They got rid of all kinds of other ancillary products like the Jumpstart Fiasco type products, and they've got things kind of slimming down and trimming down, which means they'll make more money, right? But they also still have collector boxes. And you've probably yourself enjoyed many a collector box opening, just like the Moxman has, looking at the big YouTube channels cracking the stuff out. And when you see all the cards, all the variants, all the different types spread and plastered across the play space of the game we love, and you're going, I can't even read that card, I don't know what that card is, how many things do I have to try to collect? It looks so daunting and confusing. And I've kind of mentioned it in the past, but I didn't think much of it because I was looking at individual cards that I appreciate. But when you see them spread all over the place, it's just confusing. And the idea that you think the value may be there long term is also a misleading thing based on how Wizards of the Coast handles their print runs and offers the information to players, which is basically next to nothing. Now I want to show you something here. Let's go to a local LGS here in Toronto, and you'll see here, Murders at Karlov Manor Collector Booster Box. Pre-order pricing is $329.95. And if you're here in Ontario, you got to pay an additional 13%. If you were in the States, you would take 31% off of this price, okay? To give you a general idea. Now, of course, I checked other stores here in Toronto, and guess what? The product pricing lined up perfectly, which means even guys from 401 to Face to Harry T, all the bigger stores seem to have the same pricing model in line for this product. And you know what? What's interesting is, when I asked some of these stores and smaller stores around them who have very similar pricing, why didn't you why are you all in the same boat? Usually some of you guys have higher and a little bit lower, and they are terrified of being stuck with the product. Terrified of being stuck with leftover product. I'm not saying they're colluding, they're obviously not, but they're keeping the profit margins as slim as they can to make sure they can move as much product as possible, because players are not pre-ordering. Players are buying singles. Stores have never had lower sales volumes on collector boxes. And you may have heard differently, you may have seen it other places where it's selling well, but I can tell you from the stores I've checked in at, the store volumes are down massively for collector boxes. The prices are getting too high. You get crushed in the value of the cards, maybe not after the initial opening, but somewhere in the first 90 to 120 days, and that means players are fed up. They are saying no. And I'm not talking about the big wheeler dealers, the guys who can afford no matter what to buy at $1,000 a box if they so choose. I'm talking about the average Joes out there, the people like you guys watching me, who used to indulge in 1 or 2 boxes here and there as a treat to yourself for $2.99 a box. Great deal. But 30, 40 bucks more, and the cards having 50% of the value they used to have in most cases, means it is such a chasm to try to close that players are just flat out saying no. Now, let me show you the next one here. When you check out this, and this is one of the good selling boxes, okay? This is on Amazon right now. So I'm showing you guys the Amazon pricing for Fallout. $324 US on Amazon.com. Now, I want to remind people that this is probably just a placeholder price because here in Ontario, Canada, locally you can find it for $339, take away that 31%, and that's probably where the price is going to fall for anyone in the US who ends up buying the product, okay? But that's still a lot of money. It's still an expensive product, and because there's no MSRP, we all know that if some bomb cards get dropped later, they're going to jack up the price even higher because they can. They're not being regulated. They need to make their money where they can. And again, they don't want to be stuck with it, so they will wait to the last possible minute and then raise the prices if the pre-orders are low and something big comes along. I can't blame my LGS for that. They need to pay for the store, pay for the overhead. I get how the game is run. But players are just so much more savvy. You guys watching me get this. You understand you're not putting out the money you used to put out to buy products. You buy the single cards, you buy individual things you want, you may treat yourself to some booster packs, but you're not diving in buying every little thing under the sun like we used to back in 2020 during the highs. We are back to a more regulated market where we're dealing with high inflation, things we haven't dealt with for 15 to 20 years. And that is crushing your available cash flow. You are being more careful, more savvy, and you're adapting to this changing world. But Wizards of the Coast has failed to adapt to what's going on. With the sheer number of variants they offer us, how do you know which is which? It's getting pretty silly. When I saw those openings, I'm just going, and it was all kind of like Lord of the Rings stuff and some Wilds of Eldraine variant boxes. It was just crazy to see it all, especially when it was spread out. And I've heard players tell me this before, but I wasn't looking for that. I'm looking for an individual card that I love. But when you see all of them out there, and imagine playing against that deck and trying to read those cards and understand what they are and get a good feel, it doesn't give you that feeling of playing the game. It seems to distract from what the game is. It's Wizards trying to cash in on collectability? Absolutely. I make no bones about what they're trying to do, but the idea that players are now starting to reject that idea and say, hey, maybe I'll buy one play booster box, but I ain't touching that collector box. 12 packs for that price point with all those crazy variants that just drop in price anyway? Surge foils everywhere? Why? Why? What makes that Surge foil any more special than an old 7th edition foil? Than the original Urza's Destiny stuff? Like, where does it all end? Where does it come to that point? With no fixed focal point on what to collect and the way they've scattershotted everything, players know. Players are fed up. Players have had enough. For some stores that used to, back even in 2022, to get some fairly decent pre-orders, even for Crimson Vow Midnight Hunt, their sales on collector boxes, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, is down 90 to 100%. They haven't sold any. Murders at Karlov Manor, Ravnica Remastered, nobody's touching it. Because they know what happens even after it comes out. They know there's going to be a price drop. Now, there is always the chance, guys, that because so few things get opened in the future, the prices could revert, change, shift. You can't control the market that way. You guys will decide how the market moves. The thousands, millions of players of Magic who decide or not decide to buy certain products that don't interest them and players don't feel are good value for money, they're going to stay away. And nobody can change that. Nobody can change what the facts are when you look at a sales record sheet and say, oh, Ravnica Remastered. Well, let's see the last sealed box. Okay. So like March the Machine. Okay. And this one. Okay. You sold 40 here, 30 here. Your pre-orders were like 20 and 60. Oh, 180 on Dominaria United Collector box at the time. 180 boxes. Okay. Oh, Ravnica Remastered 0. Murders at Karlov Manor 1. That doesn't look so good, does it? For a store who has overhead, which makes them terrified to buy into a lot of boxes. Yes, we know, I've heard the same rumors that they're tightening up production runs. But without serialized boxes to tell us what the numbers are, why would we get involved in it? Why are we going to buy them? Dead asset, holding up my money for years when, let's face it, cash is doing pretty good right now if you're in the stock exchange buying good, solid dividend-paying stocks. Let's be honest. That's why singles are doing so well. You can pay 30% more for that one single and still come out ahead. Players are getting it now. The wool's not there anymore. They're rejecting the idea of products like this that Wizards used to be able to cash in on. But as you guys would tell me, they're getting greedy, man. They're trying to take too much cash. They're offering too little. They've drained the pond, and now they're stuck with what they get. They get some minnows buying certain product boxes, and that's it. And the singles market does pretty good. Either way, I want to know, are you buying collector boxes still? Are you guys going to be shopping around for some of these things? Are you hoping for an Amazon dump? You guys have got to give me some information here and drop that stuff in the comments section, especially if you're new to the channel. Love to hear from everyone. If you have information, you can drop it to my email, alang@hotmail.com. Make sure you send off any receipts and stuff you got going on so I understand it's real. And I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow for another video. Crazy to see what's going on. Oh, it's a top 10 video this weekend. And a reminder, the live stream will be Saturday evening, I believe, is what we've decided. I think that has a highest polling number. So I'll see you guys Saturday night for a live stream instead of Sunday because obviously that's Christmas Eve. And I'll be with the family doing other things. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy it. Magic's an amazing game, but Wizards just can't cash in like they used to. And I think that's going to become apparent in 2024. A big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons who tune in every day, give these videos thumbs up, and support the content creation of this channel, allowing for daily uploaded content. Thanks again, guys, for being there every day. Patrons, you rock. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You guys made it. You're at the end. The copy's like 3/4 full because honestly, it only took me like 4 takes. This video came along pretty smooth. There was a lot to discuss, and I had a lot of things bubbling up inside me. Number one, so close, yet so far. You know it's going to go to like 19.9, then go to 20K, then go back down to 19.9 because somebody wants to be the 20th person, the 20,000th person. It's crazy. But either way, amazing to see we're almost there. The sales are really low, guys. Ravnica Remastered, Karlov Manor. I'm hearing everything from, you guys saw what happened on Amazon. These boxes are going for like $60 for Aftermath. 58, whatever it is. I'm not buying it. We know what's going to happen. They've been charging too much. There's too many variants, too much confusion, no value in any of the cards. Things are dropping. We need tighter production runs. We need. Players have a lot of desires, and Wizards has yet to tune into what's really happening in the market space that they're dealing with. And that's kind of like, they're always slow to the game. They're always slow to the game. So we'll see how that pans out in the future. But for right now, it is what it is. They're just stuck where they are. And it's going to take them a while to realize just how bad the collector boxes are selling. Modern Horizons may be a step forward depending on how they put that product together. But right now, it ain't looking good. It ain't. Ain't is not a word, I realize. And if your kids are at home listening to me, I apologize for using incorrect grammar. We're a family-friendly channel here, and I do my best to make sure that we educate. Guys, have a great one. You're awesome. You know it's true. Kids, go help do stuff. Walk the dog. Do something other than watch me right now, because you're going to have to see me again tomorrow. And I hope you're looking forward to it, because I sure am. Have a great day, everyone.